Welcome everyone to another fun open source live stream. For everyone it might be interesting even if you're not using Apple Silicon Mac hardware, but otherwise if you do, that actually it took a while for Linux audio to arrive on Apple MacBooks for all the asahi Linux based reverse engineering, and the main reason is speakers were actually working for a very long time, but it took a year or two to actually develop a speaker safety framework, user space daemon, to filter and model all your audiophile goodness there, because actually turns out the MacBooks can and will drive their speakers above their specified, like if you have a freaking speaker, right? And they have some design limit, like quarter watt or so. And turns out Apple made them sound better by simply often driving them past their design limit, right? To give you more oomph and bass and stuff. But this can obviously melt design limits, right? Speaker vendor, like, yeah, quarter watt, whatever. And obviously if you do this too long, too often and continuously, then turns out eventually, yes, MacBooks melt their freaking speaker coils. If you drive them past their max, always save volume limit. That is for some 14-inch M1 Pro minus 14 dB full scale, dBFS. This means while your system previously could work on Linux with Alza and Pulse Audio, like the recurring Linux desktop gag, right? Desktop Linux is nice and all and stuff, but do your speakers work? Yes, now also your Mac speakers finally work with, lo and behold, multiple packages, a whole armada of user space newly developed by the asahi Linux corrector Martin and friends. Speaker safety daemon, yes, God forbid, user space processes for your modular multi-server microkernel system to model your audio data through some filtering and stuff to make it sound better and not to melt your speakers. So what do we have here, even developed in Rust? So unfortunately we need multiple components. So for this video we will start packaging some Linux user space. Like, did we had enough Linux user space audio problems from Alza, libAlza, other user space, dmix, PCM mixing plugin, ESD arts, we will forget that, dark chapter, Pulse Audio, Pipewire, jack, you name it. Now speaker safety demons, what could possibly go wrong? Like melting your speaker cords. They advertise here actually sounding better, brought to you by the asahi Linux team. Their goal is to provide a subjectively better than macOS audio experience. And as you know, I have one, like, I stick to my quiet minimalism, except a huge hardware collection, but otherwise I didn't buy a Mac in 7 years, despite my company having Mac software products. I brought that 14-inch MacBook Pro for our Apple Silicon development, as seen on this channel. So actually I need and will test that. But what was my point? All right, I wanted to say, because all the reviewers are always so impressed, right? I'm personally not actually really that impressed, so totally agree with Hector Martin, because they're right. Better than macOS. In their opinion, the tuning applied by Apple, while technically impressive, to try hard, Apple make liberal use of psychoacoustic modeling, like psychoacoustic, like if you're new to that, if you don't know what that is the same principle that is also used for compressed, like lossy compressed audio, like MP3, Ogg Vorbis, Opus, and so on. And what that does is the human ear and brain cannot hear frequencies around other loud frequencies, right? Let's see, you have one huge frequencies like a bass drum or whatever around 400 hertz or whatever, then there is some curve of other frequencies surrounding that, not as loud the ear and brain will anyway not hear and process. So, and similar such stuff, right? And also left-right stereo and stuff like phase of the brain deciphering the angle of attack, angle of audio and stuff with phase shift left and right and other such stuff, right? Fancy phasing, equal loudness curve and other tricks to extend the bass response. And I have to say, I'm not the most impressed, right? The day I unpacked it, sure, it sounds different than my 7-year-old Retina MacBook Pro, although to be fair, I mean, and that's also the thing, right? I would nearly say and don't get me wrong, the 7-year-old Retina MacBook Pro that I rocked for 7 years, I mean, not, by now it's probably 9 years old, 2 years ago it was. So the Retina MacBook Pro that I used for nearly 7 years, of course, I agree with most reviewers that sound sounded better than 95% of all the PCs out there, because all the PCs out there have PC speakers, right? And sound like, usually quite like garbage. The day I unpacked, like probably 2 years ago, also previous video, I unpacked when the MacBook M1 was new. Obviously I didn't buy another one since then, because I'm not giving Apple my money for 12% more performance. I was disappointed. The day I unpacked it, I did not like the sound. It sounded too, I totally agree, it sounded, well, and that is Apple is sparkling sand in the reviewer's eyes or ears with totally engineered loudness war bass response. I totally agree there. To me, the MacBook, I don't like the MacBook M1 sound. While technically probably impressive, it sounds to me way too loudness war, way too much bass, like totally artificially bass pushed to the max. It does not sound naturally to me. It sounds to me like everything, like you watch a normal YouTube video, like ours, shall I subscribe and stuff, and like everything sounds artificially, like as you have a 80s Sony stereo and you listen to everything with a loudness button pressed. While technically impressive and stuff, and probably trolling normal users and reviewers like, hey, there is bass. It's like, yeah, there is too much unnatural bass for me. Anyway, so totally agree. It does not sound the most amazing. So the Hector Martin and other asahi developer right here even widen the stereo image with like it's, I hated this already in the 90s, right? When I had a Sound Blaster 16 or so with, I tried this like virtual surround, whatever the virtual surround Sound Blaster stuff was there for, DOS, whatever. Like you think as a 10-year-old, hey, virtual surround for my 386, and then it's like, yeah, sounds like garbage, thank you very much. Not the most, I wasn't the most impressed. Sure, their virtual surround sound came a long way and stuff, but yeah, virtual surround was like, yeah, I actually would prefer, and so what's right here, right? Rendering the machine useless for professional use as the sound is too far from reference, meaning you hear all kind of fancy virtual surround, loudness, phase shifting and stuff. And for me, if I watch some YouTube videos, it sounds already strangely, artificially, like blown up. It's like, I don't like that very much. So they believe to deliver simpler, yet speaker safety daemon of we are not burning your precious magnetic coils. Delivering simpler, more natural sounding stereo system that will not only more accurately reproduce source material. And that's exactly what I thought the first day I used it on macOS and still do today. By the way, there's a really strange thing. I probably should make a question here. What I thought it's a MacBook thing, because since I had the like probably 2 years, however long I have this MacBook, each time a YouTube video starts, usually with an advertisement, it is strangely loud. Like it starts like very loud, like really like popping, like loud advertising. And for a while I thought, like, do you have that, right? If you start a video, like usually on YouTube, like does it start with overly loud volumes, and then like a volume pop? And I thought for a year that is a MacBook problem. I thought like, dude, what the freaking heck is Apple even doing with the sound nonsense? And then I thought, I also hear it on my Nothing phone and maybe even on Linux Firefox, not the most sure. Yeah, like the question is, I shifted from Apple is doing some strange, like, because my volume is silent, right? I do some email, I do some other programming, then I start there was silence, and then like audio starts, it overdrives it. In the meantime, I more wonder whether YouTube does some strange audio streaming trickery of overboosting advertisements. Anyway, do you have any strange video starts, overdrive pops? Leave me in the comments below. So we have quite some stuff to package. So due to the nature of modern software and obviously splitting that in multiple modules that you obviously would want to do, but we have multiple things here, right? So we have asahi audio, so it's not like one thing. We need to package multiple sims and hope. I would want to package them on my regular server here. Let's see, hope they cross-compile. And one of the things is even written in Rust. So 2023 speaker safety in memory safe Rust of all things. So we have a new Linux desktop audio speaker safety daemon written in Rust for the most safety. Yeah, let's get started. Let's quickly check because I just opened here Firefox building and I wanted to publish a new ISO. Do we have here any last minute? Yeah, I believe it needs a slash here. 119. Ah, just what I thought. Do we have already 120? Oh, we have 120 already. Seriously, they released this already. Okay, let's... Oh wait, we have 120. Why did I thought 100? Ah, because the website is not updated. Ah. Okay, now I cancel this for nothing. Okay, 120, there is still the latest version. Ah. Never mind. Carry on. So, package, of course, we deliver the most outstanding, more natural audio experience for Mac. Apple Silicon audio, new package. Let's better copy and paste that, not to have here any long name speaker safety things. And then we also need, so don't tell me copy and paste with Alt and S. The dependencies for me are not yet entirely clear. I really wish they would be more clear because they write here patched 11 secret herbs and spices kernel. Like what the freaking heck do they even mean by that? I have no idea what they even mean with that. Patched 11 secret herbs? Like what should that even... Is that a joke? Question there, does asahi support sleep mode? I'm not sure, maybe not. Maybe Ella can answer that. Welcome everyone. I'm not using asahi native Linux yet. I mostly use Linux on my MacBook for not constantly rebooting and stuff. I just use Mighty 2 Linux in QEMU most of the time. Nonetheless, of course, we package it for those who want to run it natively. People are lost. We package the latest state-of-the-art Linux audio stuff specifically not to blow up your speakers on modern laptops that drive their speakers past their design specification, not to melt them. That would otherwise be very expensive if you don't have Apple Care. Okay, so they mean just a patched kernel, right? Okay, so they mean basically, okay, a patched kernel. Okay, fine. So this is, I was wondering, are there some fancy, because 2023, I wasn't even sure, do they mean some patched Rust modules? It's like, okay, fine, point taken. I thought like maybe herbs or whatever is some C or Rust library. It's like 2023, we arrived at crazy names. Just look in your 250 micro dependencies. And you're not even sure if they mean open source packages, but okay, fine, good. So yeah, let's package the stuff. So this is Rust. Let's see if it They have one tag. Let's hope it's not like last month. Nah. Let's package something. Speaker. By the way, Ella, as you are here, do you run that already? You probably, what are you? You're probably on the official Fedora also, Red Hat based asahi Linux flavor. Okay, Ella can't comment on sleep mode. Yeah, I thought that did not yet work. Was it not? The last time I checked, which was a year ago, I think it was like battery life is good enough, just like 48 hours or greater than, was it 1 year ago greater than 48 hours idle time? It's like there's not too much more to save or so, but your mileage may vary. Are you running? Ella also needs to packages for eClunix. I'm not running that yet. Ella doesn't have a supported device. Okay, fair enough. So then one for whatever, speaker safety D. Let's copy something like other lib just for the skeleton here. Yeah, I should probably really next reinvent some scripts. I hate touching my mouse wheel. Desk. I really need to invent some script fetching all the metadata description from sites. Hopefully cross. Let's see how that will be going. License we need to check, so that is 0, 1. Modern stuff, hard to select. Oh, but it worked. So tarball, copy that. Let's hope it, this tarball sucks. We need, we can copy it from there. Speaker safety 0, 1.4 gset off. Was it like that? I believe probably slightly different than that. And then license MIT. Let's not advertise it as stable. They don't have another URL then. Yeah. That. And the asahi Linux. I think in the future, I mean, this name sucks a little bit, but whatever. Because I imagine this could be reused for some Dell XPS, right? And similar such stuff. So the software is still pre-release and not fit for user testing on user. Do they not ship it by default in the meantime? Do you still? Please do not ask for help with installing using software. Pipewire, no speaker, your machine, will be made. I thought it was, I thought they ship it now already, but yeah. You know what, let's remove this asahi Linux here because it's not like named asahi Linux speaker. So let's remove it here. I mean, there's probably not that much truly Apple silicon. Right? It's like in the future, tune your Dell XPS speakers not to sound like shit, right? So we can have it here in the description, asahi Linux developed speaker safety daemon. And who would be the author? Is it, I believe it's probably mostly Macan, maybe. Let's see if we find here any. Okay. They put that there. I copy that there. And so that is one thing. And then we need, at least asahi Linux audio. You know what, let's copy speakers to asahi audio. Okay, whatever. Wanted to copy that fancy. Then what did I not rename that already for? Okay, whatever, I didn't SVN copy that. Fair enough. So that is the Linux user space audio configuration for Apple Silicon Macs. Probably does also not have a website, yeah. I mean, we could rename that shorter, it's a little bit overly long. And brought you, our goal is to improve information. Okay, all this stuff is a little bit long, blah, blah, blah. That's what I already summarized. So let's, oops, also wrong. Yeah. Let's have that there, shorter there. That is a point, right? Longer text, so the title, longer text. URL is just this then, unless they have a nice wiki page. Probably also MIT. What do we have there? We have more releases here. So what this is, these are all the filter curves for your asahi Linux MacBook audio stuff, like the filter curves and other such details. Okay, this download very currently. So the thing is with this download, we cannot, like, it would collide with all other packages, right? So this is 2023. I find it truly ridiculous that big major websites like have such download links. It's like seriously, you had one freaking job, and yeah. I find it really ridiculous. The state of the web is ridiculous, but probably most people would agree. So add that. Let's make that. Let's see if it cross compiles. So let's ARM64 speaker save TD. If you're wondering why these are different packages, so one is the Rust user space components that could potentially be shared to improve sound and safety on Dell XPS, Lenovo ThinkPads, or even your SG Octane. And the other are user space configuration files, similar to, the point is also to update this more often, right? So for example, the safety daemon in the future might, if you're wondering why is all this stuff always split so fine-grained, I love it, much better than monolithic everything in the kitchen sink repositories, so that, for example, the speaker safety D probably doesn't need to be updated so often, or hopefully nearly never, like maybe once a year for bug fixes or tiny improvements. And the user space configuration stuff could be updated every month, or maybe even like if more of the x86 or RISC-V audio stuff for your Pinebook or whatever could update configuration files every other week or month, right? So, okay, some stuff does not build here for whatever. Let's try this here. Asahi audio, right? Asahi audio. We have tons of comments, which is amazing. Also, yeah, are you into Apple Silicon? Also fails for install target. Yeah, we will check in a second. We have plenty of comments. Welcome everyone. It is amazing that currently so many more people tune in. Always, yeah, looking for your comments. Share, like, subscribe, and don't forget to super thank membership or Patreon. Damian asked, do I ever use some graphical IDE for program, or always just Vim? No, for bigger things. I said this before, this probably triggers people. Actually, I don't for my other, like I only use Vim for YouTube live streams. I said this before, my otherwise more main Linux setups actually using Emacs. Specifically, I use the older flavor of X-Emacs because when I started 20 years ago, X-Emacs was the most amazing because Emacs probably still didn't have much X11 graphics. So I used X-Emacs for pretty X graphics since 20 years. And this is still my main setup when I write bigger code on Linux. VI I used, actually, I actually, I only used Vim recently. I otherwise only used NVI, then not Vim. I just need very simple stuff. I only recently, because the NVI people, the few, and like, because Vim is also, like, Vim is not VI anymore, right? So for me, I only use VI. So, and VI, not Vim, I used for small edits, like yeah, also people do not need to be VI or Emacs, right? They can use both. And historically, I used Emacs for big things and VI for small Linux maintenance console things. I use IDEs on Mac and Windows, although Windows I touch only very rarely. But I hate them, right? I mean, Xcode is such a slow math, right? It's ridiculous, right? You have a 10-core Apple Silicon Mac, and then Xcode is the slowest piece of garbage that doesn't even freaking work properly. Also, Xcode peaked 10 years ago at Xcode 3, since Xcode 4. Like, ironically, I patched Xcode 3 to still work on newer Macs 10 years ago for 5 years until it finally stopped working altogether. Xcode 3 was a more simple, faster, and more usable experience for me. The Xcode 4 and later, to the latest versions, the last 10 years, absolute everything but the sync math together, horrible, slow UI that just sucks and doesn't even freaking work all too well. And Visual Studio is even worse. I have no idea how people write productive code on Windows with Visual Studio. That is one of the worst. Like, everything really sucks there, right? It starts from, maybe you can configure it, but I'm not reading a 1,000-page book how to configure Visual Studio to not suck. It starts that it has it saves a different layer. I mean, besides, it starts that everything sucks, but then, like, if you move it around to not fully suck, I mean, it's still slow and buggy and stuff, but then they save the layout. You move everything together that you can finally work, and then they save the layout for debugging and not debugging. So you move everything to be able to code, and then you debug, and then all the UI starts to change, and then you move it around a little bit that it's not in your face, like registers, variables, and whatnot. And then you stop debugging, and the whole UI changes again. It's like, maybe you can disable it, but I don't care. It sucks. Out of the box, it sucks, and I'm not using it daily. So if Windows sucks and Visual Studio sucks and I don't want to use Windows, like, why should I spend time to configure Visual Studio so that it doesn't get into my face all the time? Besides, it's buggy and sucks. Anyway, you ask, I answered. Don't ask me about Windows or macOS, it's too buggy. I developed my own operating system for a reason, because I want a non-buggy experience. Recently had a similar issue with HTPC speakers that pipewire channels, max volume, can't overdrive, mitigates this. I'm so happy that someone is using SVN, way better than Git, happy to hear that. Yeah, kinder, simpler, more, it both has pros and cons, but yeah. Popular pastebin, Service Plus, Wire Plumber, Lure, config, for example, Xcode works nicely. For Swift development only, I use it every day for work. Xcode works nicely for Swift development. For C, C++, it's really bad. I mean, it's ironically that Xcode came from Objective-C, right? Again, Xcode 3 was amazing. Xcode 3, yes, it was simpler and stuff. Also the interface builder, like the new interface builder, which also don't use the interface builder. We made the mistake in our software. Because we were new to Mac over 15 years ago, in 2004, we did this with Interface Builder, and it's the worst decision ever made. Don't use a freaking Interface Builder. It's like, we thought we do it the next way as envisioned by Steve Jobs and stuff, because Interface Builder, of course, comes from NextStep. It's the worst maintenance nightmare. Don't use Interface Builder. But in Xcode 3, over 10 years ago, it was two things, right? It was Xcode and the interface builder. Now they meshed everything together in one monstrous stuff that's even more buggy and even slower and stuff. And then you have a tiny little window in the middle of your freaking Xcode, like here files and their properties and stuff. And then you have less than a freaking quarter of your display or so for the bloody interface builder. And previously, you had all your windows separately. Now you have everything meshed together barely being able to edit the stuff. It's kind of like Apple doesn't even want people. But yeah, don't use the interface builder, right? Just do UI and code. Everything else is a maintenance nightmare anyway. And it's constantly buggy anyway, right? And every release of Xcode, SDKs and stuff, all your interface builder has different micro bugs and stuff. But whatever, we digress here. So interface builder is a lot better, although still has some issues. For SwiftUI is the best thing. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Everything on macOS, including Xcode and interface builder, worked better 10 years ago, and every year it became slower and more buggy. It's like I don't want to use it anymore, right? I get depressive seeing this state of slow, buggy stuff that is macOS, Xcode, and interface builder. It's like, but yeah, don't use the interface builder. You like translation and changes. It is an absolute maintenance nightmare. Don't do it. It looked nice on paper 15 years ago, and hopefully everyone learned already that it sucks to maintain it. Cheers. Code should be code and not strangely visually edited stuff. So what's failing here? ARM also does our build is still building. Do we even, how low it is? Hopefully this is, no new AMD erratas and segmentation faults found previous video. 64. What do we have here? Install stuff. So here are some double slashes for some strange reason. Here it says no such file, not a directory. Or is it simply, is it again some install wrapper, or maybe it is some, maybe they managed to, maybe they install it in ways not supported by install wrapper. What is that here? Speaker safety device. Let's quickly check, by the way, info install -t. Target directory option is given. The last file is or failing that if the last file, we probably don't support -t. I mean, the quick thing is, let's quickly patch that. Maybe we simply patch it. I mean, theoretically we should. The irony is, like, we have 6,000 packages and none is using such options. It's always you implement. I mean, yeah, you could also implement everything you see there, but otherwise we usually implement what we see is needed instead of everything in the kitchen thing. So Asahi, let's hope we didn't build with config 64. Keep on error, please. I didn't have this on for building multiple ISOs in parallel with only 96 gigs of memory. Yeah, so other comments probably. As for the interface builder also, there are two options, storyboard and single views for every module, and storyboard really sucks. Can agree. I mean, just look at the reviews, right? The last time I looked at the reviews, each new release Xcode in the App Store, people are more complaining, but it's also ridiculous that you probably need 8 gigabyte or whatever the download, or probably download is 8 gigs and it expands to 20 gigs. I didn't even check. It's absolutely hilarious how large, you can fit all T2 architecture ISOs in the download size of Xcode. Think about that. Although yes, the Xcode includes iPhone, iPad, but it's Apple Watch SDKs and stuff. But it's also Apple's fault that everything is so much code duplication, right? They could have just one iOS that is the same on iPhone and iPad and Apple Watch and Apple TV, but now they need everything code duplicated for maximum space wasting reasons. But anyway, so Asahi Linux, let's see if we maybe just patch the make file. Even this is already this dear. What do they do here? So here they have as a full path, and here they have, what do they have here? J all. For some reason, is there a technical reason why they have only done that here? Because should this not work, that this is the directory? Do they have any other -t? Maybe they did for a reason. That yeah, if that is the thing we should implement this, actually I can put this on my to-do, but if there's a quick hack. What? Did I patch that wrong? Oh yeah, patch this wrong. But yeah, we probably should make a dedicated Apple run video and not discuss it here so long. So what was the thing about... oops, I had this already there. What does it want? Panicked at failed to run custom command others? Build scripts, process didn't target release others. Maybe it just is an external, maybe it... is this a submodule? Okay, don't instantly... Because the bloody git export table things don't have submodules. Speaker save td. The thing is also, we need to update our kernel. Alright, that is not there. That is here in... Do we still have that, or... we deleted that, I believe. Do we still need that, by the way? You know what, I think it's also time to delete that overlay. That is getting way too outdated. Delete it, or yeah. Hopefully upstream enough by now, otherwise they had their chance. Can't keep all overlays forever. So, speaker safety D, what are they trying to do there? Also, 2022 stuff usually fails with Rust stuff. 2023 Rust stuff fails with running strange external stuff. Let's see, what did it? It did build with cargo. Safety D builds this, release, rerun if changed, other, a package standard, what package config has not been configured to support cross compilation? I hate this. What did we do the last time something like that happened? Installer this root. Did I not? Did any other? I think I saw something similar. I mean, we could ignore that for now. Do they also have -t here? They also have -t here. We could ignore it for now and build natively, although it's maybe easy to fix, but I also really hate this stuff of it would work, but I mean, we just put package config in there, right? I mean, maybe it's enough to put the package config thing in the... Oh no, wait, this was right. Maybe it's enough to put package config equals package config in the config toml of some cargo thing, but... Let's see, what else do we have there? Vysiwyg. What you see is what you not get, and waste your time. Quite horrible some time ago. Android rather do manual code became otherwise. Spaghetti code math. Yeah, they could also really include some more helpful error message, because now I need to Google. So like everything else freaking cross compiles, and this Rust stuff again not like we solved all of that decades ago, and they maybe they just want to run package config for other whatever. What would be the cargo config toml? What would be the package config key? Does someone know? Erwin asks, how much do you pay for the font set you are using? Was it $29 or something of that sort? However, I mean, I paid what is on the website, right? However, they issued a couple of fonts, so I paid for that. And what I didn't know is this font foundry, they have a free font like for 12 months. Each month they got a newsletter like, hey, as a recurrent or previous customer, here's we give you a font for free. So I purchased it here, or I licensed it here. This is the smallest desktop use thing. I mean, yeah, you can. What is it? Is it from zero? Is it the test thing without Unicode stuff? From 11? I think it's some 3 years ago. I probably 100 comic code. I didn't even know that here. Is that new? Medium. I probably have something like that here. Comic code ligatures coding essentials. Probably that. And yeah, something of that sort here, up to 5 users or whatever. Desktop thing. Thanks for asking. Package config equals package config. I have no idea. That maybe, let's see what happens. Expect table, but font a string. Yeah, that is also the most amazing error messages, right? Expect. I had something similar already. It's like oops. I have no idea what's up with this stupid error message. So it's probably not that. It's like, yeah, thank you much. Rust is so amazing. Doesn't even, like everything else cross compiles, and Rust and Cargo, yeah. Lewis Rossman would say, being a whole bitch here. Don't be a half bitch, be a full bitch. Totally don't cross compile. Do they even here? What do they have? Also, no package config allow cross. Is there any other hint? Package config has not been. Let's maybe take a look if what is there. Package config probe lib either. Package config usually is because other development are not installed. Users install. Okay, did I do underscore? I didn't try underscore. Let's. Oops. If you autocomplete actually. Yeah, this is also the most annoying. It's like, I have no idea what they want to tell me. I had this with other things, expect a table, but found a string for package config, and it's like, they always output this, right? This is like the most Rust and Cargo people think they reinvented everything the most amazing way, and in reality, this stuff just sucks. So I believe even if you foo equals bar, it will complain here. Like, yeah, it's, to me it looks like it if this is an error message for, hey, we don't support the freaking keywords, then like output caused by unexpected freaking keyword, not like expected a table but found a string for, it's like they think they have, what is this saying? They think they have eaten all the wisdom with spoons or whatever. Sag, do you say it like that? In German there's this thing like die Weisheit mit Löffeln gegessen oder so. Like the Rust and Cargo people think they've spooned all the wisdom, but it's like the most basic things still fail a decade later. Not really sure what. So package config probe library. So this is just, does anyone else? You're saying package config create needs a bump of env for cross compilation. Yeah, cool. So you're saying I just should probably, wait, do I still, where is even, let's delete this bar shit. Okay, this is also, so you're saying just export freaking package config low cross. Package config. So you're saying I should export something like what? Package config allow systems cflags, whatever. Package config also did not. Wait, does it? Oh wait, maybe I should have read this more precisely instead of running how shitty that is. Stupid that is. Maybe we can see, what did it run here? No, wait, no, this changed. No, this changed. So this indeed improved it. So I did not read enough. So it did run package config allow cross shit for, you can't make this stuff up, like literally every freaking else cross compiles. Like just freaking run package config already. What does it freaking run here? Is that freaking hard to read? Package config. Is Is this even freaking the right path? Maybe it could be. So it did try to run this. Can we copy and paste that? As I was not found in the search path, did it? Okay, if we just run package config without all the nonsense, does it work then? No? What even do they need? Okay, let's see what we have here in var. Or did we, maybe we didn't build enough. I'm not that. Okay, for some reason we indeed didn't build enough yet. Okay, but nonetheless the other thing was correct. So we need at least, let's export this here. We need at least that, and then see why do we not have more build? For some reason we have not built more. Okay, let's just build continue while we add this already. So that is audio, speaker, safety. Yeah, that you need to export. This is really ridiculous. Yeah. That probably should be. Yeah. Not really sure why this failed. Maybe there's. You know what? Let's maybe build. What is it? Asahi, right? Let's manually build that and see if that is enough. Not really sure why this build is not further, maybe GCC. Because it's pointless to wait for GCC now, maybe that failed for some reason. Export, yeah. Okay, that fixed something. Amazing. Oh, no, not all. So, and then we still, of course, we still need to test it, and everything need to launch it by default. We need to, because the speaker safety daemon only ships with the system D script. If you, amazing, it's cross-compiled now. So that's basically the most minimal stuff, plus of course the latest kernel, which probably upstream kernel might not yet be it. But the asahi Linux people get there, and I initially estimated when the Apple Silicon stuff was new, I estimated 10 years for everything to work. We're probably like 3 years in. Of course, the asahi Linux people do an amazing job and heck a lot of work. It is a little bit faster than I expected. I mean, they're still not 100% there, right? It's not everything full-featured and stuff, but the only reason they are so much faster is because the best of the open source industry tackled that, right? I did not expect high-profile developers like Hector Martin and other of his friends and crew took on that. I expected some other less educated hobbyist might poke around there. That, of course, decreases my expected estimated time from 10 years to 3+ years. So at that speed, maybe in only 5 years, like from my initial estimation, from 10 years to 5 years. But of course, there are multiple models and always the latest and greatest Apple quirk silicon stuff to be reverse engineered and so on. I still wouldn't recommend it the most due to all the non-repairable proprietness. So yeah, it says it couldn't find the ALSA, but only after I convinced it to actually look for that. But yeah, let's continue the build. I'm not sure if that hopefully should continue fully. And then let's copy already the cache dependencies for ARM64. By the way, why do I have here multiple? What else do I have done there? Musel. That explains the thing. So, or ADM cache. Speaker safety D, audio, speaker speaker safety cache. I should have reverse deleted that. And that's my audio for actually, you know what? Last but not least, I only should do that for cross builds. That was speaker safety D. Non-native, do that. One more question. Does some of this clips and reps strangely? Does Linux have better system than macOS? It is, I would say it's 50-50. I'm also not, I mean, it's higher performance. Basically, in some ways, yes, in some ways not. Both are not super amazing. But I mean, given that both are not super amazing, the problem is on macOS, everything in the meantime is quirked, hacked, and convoluted. Given that the microkernel is not really a microkernel. In the meantime, the microkernel they barely use and is more of a burden and a performance handbrake. And given that both systems are equally not super amazing, Linux is more open and at least higher performance. I would prefer Linux due to openness and high performance. So basically, macOS could have been better if it would have been more a microkernel and not like basically they run most things in a one huge GNU, not Unix BSD task anyway. So yeah, and yeah. So, but leave me in the comments below. What's your take? So commit. So the only thing here is I copied speaker safety, right? We want to adapt this build priority a little bit, like maybe 200 just for reasons, and let's just do this here 5. It doesn't really matter too much, just a bit later. And then speaker safety D probably looks mostly right. What is the cache? The cache probably doesn't, the cross cache usually doesn't say the most, but at least yeah, there's some reasonable stuff. Better than nothing. Because the reason there is not more in is because all the native tools are used, not the, this is why all the other main tools, but at least it correctly identifies other. It's already something. And yeah, okay, whatever. At least we have a build time of it was fast. Speaker safety D. Configuration goodness. There. It still needs an init script for System 5 based init and actual testing and so on. But I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. That's it for this video. Don't forget to maybe patronage, YouTube membership or super thanks otherwise. Shall I subscribe? Have a good day and night, and I hope to see you soon for all the next fun IT stuff and code tinkering to come.